I know what you're all thinking. Wait, why is this being reviewed? Aren't you only doing theatrical releases? Well, technically this is a theatrical release. It was shown in a couple hundred theaters or so, so technically it counts. So, to be honest, I really wish it didn't. To me, this is not only one of the worst animated films I've seen this year, but also one of the most bizarre. I mean, okay, so it's just My Little Pony, but they're all humans now, right? Well, actually, no! Now they're all in high school. What? What was it, like Hogwarts or Professor X's school where it's not like any ordinary school? No, it really is just another average high school. What? Okay, let's talk about the story. Twilight Sparkle is a princess now. Won't ask how, I'm sure it's explained in the show. But her crown is stolen by some other pony who takes it with her into an alternate dimension on the other side of the magic mirror. Because the crown maintains balance in the universe or something, don't correct me, knowledge of the show is very limited, Twilight has to go through the mirror to retrieve it. And when she gets to the other side, well, let's just say her reactions are very similar to mine at this point. Anyway, it turns out that in this high school alternate universe... My fault, this is such a weird concept. It turns out that the crown is being used for the prize for the Queen of the Fall formal dance and something. In order to get it back, Twilight must compete with the evil pony for the crown and at the same time reunite her friends who are apparently in this universe gone their separate ways. Gee, will the new girl overcome her problems to defeat the alphabet that is her rival? Will the power of friendship prosper as Twilight brings the girls that were once so close back together? And while we're at it, will there be a generic love interest with no real purpose to add pointless filler to this story? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then congratulations, you can claim to have seen My Little Pony Equestria Girls. Though to be fair, I don't think that's something to be proud of. Why? Because I don't like this movie! At all! And honestly, I don't see how anyone else can like this movie either. Or at least anyone that's not a brony. Yeah, I'm sure there are plenty of fans of the show that really enjoy this movie. In fact, I heard they were completely against it at first, but after seeing it, they completely changed their minds. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I mean, after all, it is a movie made specifically for that demographic. A lot of other movies based on TV shows. It seems to be made specifically for the brony crowd. From what I can gather, apparently there's a lot of fan work out there depicting ponies as humans, and in the movie there are a lot of fan favorites making cameos, with some exceptions. Hell, overall the tone of the movie does feel like just some sort of fan fiction brought to the big screen, so in the eyes of a brony, I guess I can understand this movie's appeal. These are the fans that better understand the story and characters, and therefore are much more likely to get into it. But for everyone who is not a brony and is simply judging the film on its own, there is not a lot to offer. The main plot has pretty much every single high school cliché you can think of. The new girl who starts out as a nobody, but then suddenly rises to popularity. The alphabet with no redeeming characteristics whatsoever. The love interest whose main purpose is to be just that. The group of girls who were once friends but then broke up due to a misunderstanding that will have to be brought back together by the end of the movie. Yeah, this list goes on for quite a while, people. Hell, even the clichés aren't done very well. The villain starts out as just another generic alphabet, but then by the end of the movie they want us to make her feel sympathetic. Which would be fine, except we have no reason! In order to sympathize with the villain, we need to understand why the character acts the way she does and why their dealing with problems are present. Here, no such qualities are present. The character goes from being pure evil to a wooby in a matter of seconds, and to be fair, it's not called for at all. And the love interest, it's bad enough that he has no personality at all, but he literally doesn't do anything of major importance, so really, he could have just easily been written out and the movie would not have been that different. I can think of one scene where he attempts to do something by getting Twilight out of trouble, but the scene itself was pointless, so his actions are also pointless. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap this up because talking about this movie really does hurt me. Maybe I had different thoughts if I was a fan of the show like a lot of other people who do like this movie, but as someone whose experience with the show is limited to a couple episodes, I found very little to enjoy here. The story is flooded with cliches, the characters are just as lacking in originality. Hell, even the visual style, which I do give the show credit for, is lacking here. The human designs are just atrocious, and apart from the usual brightness and colorfulness you would expect, there's just nothing creative about it, and it's really upsetting. What can I say? If you're a brony, then chances are you'll be much more invested in this movie than I am. But as for the rest of us, I suggest we stay away from this movie at all costs.
That's not a real word, right?
Seriously, where the hell was Discord?